Welcome to my podcast, Why Get Wasted? Innovative Solutions to Climate Change. I'm so excited you found us. In this podcast, I'll be talking with really interesting people who've come up with innovative solutions for tackling climate change. There's so much fear and discouragement now, and I know we can all feel helpless to do anything about what we see and know is happening with our planet. But people are creative and resilient, and they can be really smart, and often in times of crisis, really step up to the plate. So I wanted to draw attention and talk further to some people who've come up with their own way to help all of us fight for our planet. And now a little bit about me. My name is Liz Entin, and I'm the founder of Why Get Wasted. We offer customized plans for businesses and events, both personal and professional, to help them be more climate friendly and sustainable. We've worked with everything from festivals and concerts to fashion shows, and even your kid's birthday party or your own dinner party. While doing this, I've just met some really inspiring people. And now I want to share their stories, the companies they've created, and the solutions they've come up with all of you. We can all work together to fix this. And now I hope you enjoy this episode of Why Get Wasted? Innovative Solutions to Climate Change. Hi, so today I'm talking with Joslyn Faust, the founder of HeyBamboo. So welcome. Tell us about yourself, introduce yourself, and tell us about HeyBamboo.
Yeah, so thanks for having me on, Liz. This is great. So, Joslyn Faust, I'm the CEO and founder of HeyBamboo, which is a alternative toilet paper company. So it is bamboo, but not only that, it's also unbleached. And it really came about because of the pandemic. I never really thought about toilet paper, probably the same as all of you. But it wasn't until a spotlight shone on toilet paper. I couldn't get my normal brand. But more than that, I just heard all of these facts about toilet paper that I had never heard about before. And it was kind of shocking to me. So I just wanted to do something about it. It's like, okay, I'm going to purchase more sustainable products for my family. One, because 27,000 trees cut down every day for toilet paper. That's crazy, especially for something that, we never really think about. And then also I had just heard so much about bleach in the news, especially when it comes to like feminine products. And I just kept thinking like, gosh, this is toilet paper. We use it in sensitive areas. Why is no one really talking about bleach and toilet paper? So it was the two of those. When I started to take a look at sustainable options in the space, it just kind of seemed to me that a lot of products make you feel like you have to give something up for sustainability. Like it's either rough or wrapped in plastic or really small rolls or really expensive. When I heard the impact of toilet paper, I was just hoping for a product that like more people could use and more people want to use because it just is a great product that just happens to be really sustainable and good for you at the same time.
Right. So you mentioned you heard just some of the facts. Are those some of the ones you shared already, such as the bleach and amount of trees? And
Exactly. The number of trees, and it turns out it's like 9.8 million trees a year for toilet paper. 15% of the Earth's deforestation. And it's, again, for something that we never think about. So it's just, one of those, gosh, it's like this, something that could potentially be an easy swap for people. And like, it just has such a big impact, even though it's like such a small thing.
yeah, it's not, you're not really like getting rid of some big things. Like there's so much where people think you have to make lifestyle changes. You're buying toilet paper, using toilet paper. It really doesn't change anything. It's just a different brand.
Exactly. And so the more I thought about it, the more I was like, if there is an alternative to cutting down trees and putting a lot of chemicals near our body, why wouldn't we want to use that better option? Again, better for me and better for the planet. And it turns out there are some really great options. Bamboo, I mean, everybody has talks about bamboo as being the sustainable product, but when it comes to toilet paper, it's like really amazing. It can grow up to 3 feet a day. Um, I mean, you can literally watch it grow, and it's a grass. So when you cut it, it just keeps growing. So there's no like replanting, waiting decades for it to grow back, all of that stuff. And then not only that, like bamboo is antibacterial, antifungal, odor resistant, super strong. It's actually stronger than steel. And it's also even more absorbent than wood. So all of these great qualities about it make it like just a really great alternative.
And so that's what makes HeyBamboo eco is it's made from bamboo instead of trees being cut down.
Totally,
Nice.
exactly. So it's sustainably sourced bamboo. It's certified by the FSC to be sustainably sourced. But then not only that, like I have a background in research. So when I decided to like really look into this, I wanted to like rethink what does sustainability mean? When we were trying all these different brands, I noticed there were a lot of brands that would just say, hey, we're made out of bamboo. So even though we're bleached and we're wrapped in plastic, like we are sustainable. And I'm like, like we could do better. So I thought through the whole process, even, we say sustainable to the core because literally the core is also made of thin bamboo with soy-based ink. So it can be composted because bamboo is a plant. So it can just go right in your compost bin. We have like a really thin paper wrap, which is also bamboo and soy ink. And then the outer box that it comes in is made of recycled paper, and it's also recyclable with soy-based ink. So we just kind of wanted to think through all the things and not just the material, but everything that goes into it. No plastic at all used in it, not even the tape. The tape is paper.
Oh, I love that because I notice that a lot where I find eco products or I get something secondhand and I order it and it comes completely wrapped in plastic. I'm like, well, that
Yes.
just undid my whole point of getting this. So,
Exactly, exactly. And I mean, I'm definitely not zero waste at home. I aspire to be, but I'm definitely not. But anything that I can do just to reduce the amount of plastic in my home, I love it. So with this, it's like, okay, if we try to be intentional about at least this one product, but again, toilet paper has such a big impact because everybody uses so much of it. We can all make a dent in the amount of plastic we use and then even the amount of bleach being put into our water supply, like just all of that stuff. I think it's just better for all of us. We're all connected.
so yeah, and I like what you said about how you're not zero waste or zero plastic at home. I mean, you really can't be, and I think that's something that kind of from a lot of people I've talked to kind of paralyzes them from doing anything because it seems
Yeah,
so overwhelming. It seems like it's this all or nothing. But really, if
I
you just do
agree.
one or two things, it makes such a difference. So,
Exactly. And that was like the whole point is like, I know there's so many people that aspire to, buy intentionally and do great things for the planet. But sometimes they think like, oh, if I'm not doing all of it, then I'm just, what's the point? I'm not even making an impact. But the truth is like, we all matter. I like this brand was founded on the premise that like, all of our choices matter because together we can make a difference. So you might not think that what you're doing is a big deal, but it is like a movement. So we're trying to make it easy for people to choose sustainability. And that's the point of like us focusing on all of these areas. It's like you don't have to choose your wellness or sustainability or great quality. It should be all encompassing so that it's an easy choice to make so that you don't have to think about it too much. And then with that, great, you made this great swap. You're doing something great every day without it being a big burden or something hard to do.
and you said, like most of us, you're not zero
Yeah,
waste at home, but you do some
totally.
stuff. What are some tips? What are just like for someone who maybe is just starting to out on this journey, aside from getting, hey, bamboo toilet paper, what are
Yeah.
just some Like two easy steps someone can start at home that you've
Yeah,
done.
totally. And like we've tried to do little things here and there, and it mostly just comes first, like taking a look around the house. Like, yes, I walk in my bathroom and it's like plastic, 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 or our laundry room or whatever. But trying one thing. So we've been trying these, laundry sheets. So it doesn't come in a big plastic tub. It comes in a box and it's just like these sheets that are almost like dryer sheets that go in. And that just makes me feel good that I'm not throwing away this big, tub filled with thick plastic all the time. That's one thing that we're trying to do. I've also been trying the hard, like they look like soaps, but shampoo and conditioners. It's like solid shampoo and conditioners,
Mm.
which actually work really well. And so it just started to make me think about all the products in our home that are, a plastic bottle, but it's mostly water. With that mindset, I've just started to think about what more could we do that it's the same product, but they usually dilute it because that's how we use it. But what if I add water? Even like our cleaning spray is concentrated and I just put it in these glass bottles that we have. Super easy. So again, I feel like a lot of the products that I'm trying to make, our house more sustainable, it's not that I'm changing my behavior completely. It's just swapping out something that has less water for something that doesn't, and then adding the water myself. So those are, just easy things. Just take a look around you and see what you're using. If there's anything that you can swap out easily, that's probably the first step to take.
And okay, so back to the impact of toilet paper, because again, I think that's something people haven't really thought of. There's the chopping
Totally.
down trees, and
Yes.
you mentioned the bleach in the water, which I've thought of the trees. I never thought of the bleach in the water. What are some other harms that regular toilet paper causes that maybe we don't think about as much?
Yeah. So there have been a lot of studies about toilet paper. A lot of the top brands were tested for forever chemicals in them. Again, that leaches into our water supply and basically everything else. We will soon be able to say that we're going through certification right now, but again, something that you never think about that's, present in something that touches a really sensitive part of your body and we get a lot of people, in the beginning at least, that were asking about their sensitive skin. They're like, well, we are allergic. I get a reaction to some toilet papers, and they try ours and they're like, wow, it really is natural. Just the absence of the chemicals. And it makes you start to think, it's like, what were you reacting to? And what's the purpose of it? Like, what's the need?
And what are forever chemicals?
It's chemicals that stay around for a really long time, and they just don't break down.
What made you think of bamboo? I know you were saying how it grows so fast, but yeah, again, I've heard of like bleach-free toilet paper. I think bamboo is a really interesting thing. Was it a big research process trying to get in and figuring it out, or?
Well, you know what? When I was taking a look at alternative products just for my own family, and I was trying to go tree-free, there are a couple different options that came up. There's like recycled paper, which is actually super sustainable, but in order for it to be usable, they like really pack it full of chemicals and bleach, so that it's not gray, it's white. It's also, I don't know if you tried recycled paper, toilet paper. It's really rough. So I tried that and I was like, I know it's super sustainable, but I don't feel like it's great for me. I don't like using it and I feel icky using it with all the chemicals it's full of. And then there was other, obviously, bamboo brands that I tried as well. And they had varying levels of softness. But again, there were some that were wrapped in plastic. Almost all of them were bleached. Some were really, really tiny rolls, and expensive at that. So I just kind of felt like, we could do better. We could have a truly soft product that feels good, that's also thick. Ours is 3-ply. So it was a really good place to start. And so I kind of felt like, when I was looking at the materials that we could use, bamboo ended up being sustainable. it still had the ability to be a quality product in terms of feel and thickness and all of that. Um, and then it also, since you don't need as much chemicals in order to make it soft, it ends up being really good for you too. So it just, from all the things that people care about in toilet paper, it just ended up being a really great option for us to use.
One question, two parts. What is your biggest challenge, do you feel, both with your company and then, being low waste or low waste in general, maybe either bringing it to the planet or in your own personal life?
Yeah. Well, so probably the biggest challenge is one, a lot of people don't know that bamboo toilet paper is a thing. So, there are some people that search for it, but most people are not actively looking for a more sustainable toilet paper option. So that's the thing. It's like, it's an option out there. People don't know it's an option. The second thing is if they hear about it and they've never used it, they assume that they're going to have to give something up. So they're like, it sounds great, but how does it feel? I bet it doesn't feel that good. Or like, oh my, well, how much is it? I bet it's super expensive. And so that's another hurdle to overcome. They're like, well, I hear sustainable products. I assume it's going to be really high priced. And those are the things that we're trying to overcome, like with our messaging. It's like, okay, bamboo toilet paper, super sustainable, but also feels really great. And it's also amazingly affordable. We talk about our product being eco-luxe just because it feels so good, but it's definitely, an affordable price. It's right in the range. So I want people to know that it's an option for everyone. It's not, just an option for people, one, willing to give something up or willing to pay like a huge amount for it.
Yeah, I think as eco is becoming more and more normalized and more
Yeah.
mainstream, I guess is the word, prices are going down. Like it's a lot more
Yeah.
affordable to be eco than it was a few years ago, as well as a lot easier.
It's a lot easier for sure. Exactly. So, and I feel
Mhm.
like once people try us, then they, really see that, oh, okay, this is something that I can incorporate every day, that makes me feel good about what I'm doing, but again, also feels good.
Is this your first company?
It is, yes. So brand new entrepreneur, not easy. I'm sure you've
Not
heard.
easy. No,
Yeah.
I've heard. So I've
Yeah.
heard. It's a little challenging.
It's a little challenging,
Oh,
yes. If I knew a year ago what I knew now, like that would be amazing. And then I think through, okay, I think I've learned a lot now, but in a year from now, I'll be like, "Ugh, what was I doing?" So,
I know.
learning
I
as I
look
go.
back. Like I look back on from first starting my first company all the way to today. I'm like, oh, if I just knew. There's so many
Yes,
things.
there's
But
so
yeah,
many.
yeah. And I guess
I'm
if
trying
you're
to
doing
lean
it
on
right,
people, trying to meet as many people as possible, talk to a lot of people, just because this is a journey that I'm on. It keeps on changing, and other people have been there before. So I love meeting other entrepreneurs.
same. Is there any like amazing lessons you've learned from other entrepreneurs? Any that you were just like, oh, that's such good advice? Or any lessons, I guess it'll be a little broader. Any lessons you've learned, like when you look back a year ago, what are some of those things?
Yeah, probably the biggest thing I wish I knew was try not to do everything all at once. I was like excited and just wanted to dive into it. But like, so, I now have a mantra like solve the right problems in the right order. So some of the things like I wasn't quite ready for, like I was turning on marketing, but we were still like working on conversion issues, or like, like there were some supply chain issues that I was dealing with, but then we didn't pause to do other things, so I just kind of felt like I was trying to move fast because I was excited and, I wanted to keep on moving ahead, but solve the right problems in the right order. So it's like, am I ready to solve that problem yet? And I have to really think about it. Sometimes the answer is no. And I'm just like, okay, I'm not going to do that now. I'll do it when I'm ready. So trying to be more focused, it's really hard. I think, as entrepreneurs are naturally optimistic, and which is why we get into this.
Very true.
Uh,
Very true.
we keep on seeing like amazing opportunities in front of us. So it's hard to just kind of pull back and say no sometimes.
And also, I know for me, for example, I'm always like so excited by the bigger vision of what I'm doing that sometimes
Yeah,
it's hard to be in the like, you have to do step one, you have to test it and grow it. But I'm like, but there's a way I could maybe test like down the
I
line.
know.
It's hard to rein yourself in sometimes.
I am right there with you. Yeah. I just get excited. I think it's amazing. Everyone else should too.
I agree. Yes. And wait, you said you started this in 2020, or this is when you first came up with the idea?
First came up with the idea. So we officially launched last year. So we've just been around for a year. I guess that's another learning. It takes a lot longer to put things together.
Oh my God, it takes so much longer. All the stuff that just sounds like this little easy throw it up idea. Suddenly
My
it's
God,
like, wait, there are so many components I hadn't even thought of.
for sure. I mean, and again, learning so much, but every step was like, okay, this is the first time I'm doing that. And the next week, first time I'm doing that.
Right. Right. Yeah. And it's like a
It's a journey.
constant learning. It's a really intense, really exciting up and down journey
Yeah,
constantly.
for sure.
Um, so is there anything you want to share that I haven't asked you? Anything else you want to add?
No, I mean, other than like, I'm really excited to talk. Would love to hear your journey as well, just because it's
Mhm.
always helpful to hear other people's journey as they go along and to lean on others. And that's one of the things that, I mean, I, just didn't know as many entrepreneurs, and now I do now. And it's great to have just a network of people that you can turn to for random things. It's so helpful. Even like looking for new vendors or service providers. I made mistakes in the beginning just because I was looking at online reviews, and it's different like talking to somebody that has been referred by someone you know. So it's just really great to continue to expand the number of people in your network. And I wouldn't say it's helpful, it's necessary for an entrepreneur just to be out there and doing that constantly.
Wait, so I should ask you with, in case there are other entrepreneurs listening, or so many of us are working by ourselves right now, working virtually.
Yeah.
What good tips do you have for building a network?
You know what? Like, I'm a part of a few different groups, which are great. So I do monitor them and check them out. But I think it's, people are doing things in person now. And there's just nothing like meeting someone in person to really build a network. So I have gone to a few conferences lately, and that's been so helpful. Just like meeting someone, and then now, like, oh, I know that you're in that group that I'm in. And so now we have a base to start off with. And I, have just been reaching out to people for various things. And it's great. Or, like sometimes that's not an option. I've already started to build some great relationships with people with video calls. So we just set a regular video call just to check in and talk about the things that we're doing. And I guess it's like any relationship, just you have to just nurture it. So it's not something that I really thought about when I started this journey. And now I realize that I don't even call it networking. It's these like great friendships and relationships I'm making that, kind of keep me going. It's like, okay, who do I need to turn to in my network for this next problem that I'm solving? And it's just constantly thinking about that. Like, I need to reach out because I'm always surprised by what people come up with. It's like, oh, you introduced me to someone amazing, or I didn't really think about it like that. So just, being able to use your network and grow it, and just, constantly connecting with people, I think is really important.
I agree. And they can always see things that you can't. And
For
I,
sure.
yeah, yeah. And being around other people's energy too makes such a difference, even just an energetic thing where you're not just locked away in your own world.
For sure. For sure. And you realize that, some of the things that you might be dealing with are not, it's like something everyone's dealing with. It was great to finally realize that no one really knows what they're doing when they first start a company.
Oh
Because you
my
look
God.
around and you're like, oh my gosh, these people like really have got it. And it turns out it's their second business or they've done it before. But no one knows what they're doing the first time around. So, it's expected for you to reach out.
Yeah, that is a big relief, I've realized too. Just how much like no one knows what they're doing. Even people on sometimes their second, third, but it's getting around to your third, people seem to know what they're doing. But I don't know. Maybe if you when you talk to them behind closed doors, maybe they don't
Correct.
as much. Where can everyone follow you and get Hey Bamboo and follow your journey and learn more?
Yeah. So check us out at We Love Hey Bamboo on our socials. That's on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Check me out on LinkedIn. I would love to link in with anybody. It's just Joslyn Faust, Faust. And check out Hey Bamboo at heybamboo.com.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Liz. This was great. I appreciate it.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Why Get Wasted? Innovative Solutions to Climate Change. There are so many interesting people doing such great things in the climate space, and I'm really excited to bring them to you. They've inspired me so much, and I hope they inspire you too. So please come visit me and learn more at whygetwasted.com.